the way people are describing it, it's like Florida come to life. Hey, welcome everybody to the... Ugh, I lost it. I had two different things I was going to say. Welcome everybody to the April 1st edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. Happy April Fool's Day? I don't know. I don't think anybody's actually doing April Fool's Day today. I saw a few kind of jerky parents tell their kids that school was back on. That was about it. I'm your host, Chris. I'm here with my friends Mike and James. How you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going? By the way, to answer your April Fool's thing, some older colleague of mine sent me an email, and at first I thought it was like some dyslexic type of writing, and then I responded, and he goes, April Fools, and I was sitting there like, man, you are the definition of boomer. Hope he's not listening to this pod.
I don't know. It just doesn't. I'm not in the mood for April Fools too much. You know what I mean? Especially because I knew somebody was going to pretend that, you know, COVID's over. It's funny. I was like, no. I made Jell-O and put it in wine glasses for my kids.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, we do food. My wife has made some cool food combinations. So she made like salsa, but she made it all out of fruit and stuff, so it looked like real salsa, but it wasn't. You know, mashed potato cupcakes, that kind of stuff.
That's not bad.
No, it's fun. That's fun as opposed to, you know, hey, the disease is gone. I don't know. All right. So today we're going to start with more unfortunate kickback from the virus and everybody being in place. Everybody should be home. If you don't have to be out, stay home, people. Thank you to everybody who is out there working, everybody at the grocery stores, everybody cleaning up, everybody in the hospitals. Thank you very much. What we're going to talk about, though, is we finally got news that Sony was was pushing off a whole slate of their movies this year. So, Mike, do you have that website up, or did you guys never get that up?
Well, I'm looking at an article that's just talking about movies that are being pushed to 2021.
All right, great.
Morbius, Ghostbusters, Uncharted, Peter Rabbit 2, and so on.
What's interesting, though, for me is that they just went out a year. They didn't bother, you know, at first people were like, well, we'll move to the fall or late summer. But now it seems like some things are just like, we're just kicking this whole thing out a full year. Not even testing the waters.
Yeah, but everything's gonna be open by Easter, right? According to your president, so it would be fine.
No, he backtracked a bit. Give him some credit.
Oh, sorry, it's April 30th now. Excuse me.
Yeah, isn't that like some special Canadian holiday too? Arbor Day or something up there?
April
Boxer's
30th?
Day, something.
Boxer's Day.
We missed the Queen Day. Right. Take us back.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to look this up now while we're here. There was another article I was looking at, which was movies that are still technically on the slate that haven't been pushed out yet. And I thought it was kind of interesting. So far, they haven't pushed out Wonder Woman.
No, they did. They did.
Did they?
Yeah, that was near the end of last week. I want to say Friday, because that was news to me. I was reading it. Yeah.
Okay, so this must be an older article that I missed.
Yeah, they pushed it.
So we're gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, then I'll just ignore that article for now until I get better information. Whew, excuse me. I'm now a week and a half off of work, and my brain isn't really adjusting very well to having too much time on my hands.
It's all good.
Was there any other stories that you guys saw this week? James, you shared something about a Michael Jordan.
So while most studios and production companies are pushing things back as they should when it comes to the pandemic that we're going through right now. Looks like a few companies are taking the opportunity for the streaming platforms and they're releasing things in advance. The first big one for me as a sports fan, it was the originally scheduled Michael Jordan 10-part Netflix. Well, it's a consortium of Netflix and ESPN Film Productions. Michael Jordan documentary on it's called The Last Dance. It revolves around his final year and the Chicago Bulls in 1997-1998 season. Quote unquote behind the scenes, never seen footage. That was supposed to be 10 parts, 10 hours. I don't know what they have, but as a basketball and sports and Jordan fan, I was thrilled. Originally, it was scheduled for June. Now it's been pushed up to April 19th, and it's been accelerated. The 10 parts now will be truncated to 5 2-hour blocks over consecutive weeks. So the 19th, the following week, the following week. So this is good, for those of us who are huge fans of basketball and Michael Jordan. It doesn't matter even if you're not. I mean, it's interesting to know what could have gone down that final season with a team that most of us are calling the sports version of the Beatles, that last Chicago Bulls team on the way to clinching their second three-peat.
Yeah, sports people right now are dying, looking for something new to watch. Sports Twitter is some of my favorite right now as they watch bowling and
chess,
whatever they can. Chess. I saw someone who put Madden on game versus game to just watch this.
Just watch it play out.
Someone was telling me that they might do another Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson one-on-one matchup because obviously that's a sport you could play with minimal, social interaction, all that good stuff. The other thing that I think that actually was pushed up, and Mike, I look to you for confirmation, is the DC Stargirl. I think originally it was scheduled in the fall of next season.
Yeah, it's coming.
They may actually.
Next month.
Yeah, so that's right. So they pushed it up quite a bit, actually.
That's because the rest of the CW shows ran out of episodes. They couldn't film the rest of the season, so they had to fill something to fill the slot with, right?
Thank God. And I started last night watching. Well, no, DC's okay. DC Legends is all right, but I started a little bit of Flash, and I was like, oh boy, Stargirl can't come any sooner. So yeah, those are the two things that I know of, Chris.
Well, and Pixar has pushed onward. Disney Pixar pushed onward onto digital already. That's now available, and they'll probably be moving it. They're moving it to Disney Plus on April 3rd. So that's a move that was in the theaters 2 weeks ago.
Wow, April 3rd is this Friday. Shit.
Right. So
which one is
that's
Onward?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Onward.
So that's a tentpole release film from theater to your living room in 3 weeks. It's a new world. It's a new world. I think we're gonna do some quick recommendations or more of a what we're watching as a quick before we do our two main topics here tonight. We're going to do a Bloodshot review with all three of us, and James is going to talk about his experience watching the live action.
Now I know how Mike felt when he was doing that solo Terminator review.
Welcome.
Whether it's a recommendation or just something you've watched, I'm going to let Mike go first. What you've been doing this since we last talked?
Well, some of us still have to work, So.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No.
I just do laundry all day.
Yesterday I started a new show called Devs.
DEVS.
Right.
Devs, right?
Yeah. Have you heard of it? It's on Hulu.
Yes, I saw the
FX.
Yeah, I saw the trailers for it a couple of times. It looks pretty funny.
No, it's not a comedy.
It absolutely was advertised as a comedy.
I'm hearing it as a comedy. I think Keith had mentioned it was a comedy, a recommendation.
The one about the video game producer, right?
No. This different show.
Oh.
How can both of us be wrong on this one?
I'm trying to think what What's the one I'm thinking of then?
So this one stars. She looks like a newcomer. So Noyo Mizuno. It stars Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec, our famous Parks director.
Mhm.
Allison Pill from Picard is in it as well. It's about an engineer. She's investigating this secret division within her company. Nick Offerman runs this huge tech company, and
Mhm.
there's a secret. It's not a secret division, but nobody really knows what's happening in their department. It's called the Devs division, like development.
Mhm.
Her boyfriend starts to go. He gets promoted to go work there, and the next day ends up dead. And,
Oh wow.
and she's confused as to what happened. She's getting a runaround, so she starts to investigate, and things start just getting weirder and weirder. So I'm on episode 4 right now. I think 5 episodes have been out of an 8-episode season. So far it's pretty intriguing. Some good characters, some good writing. I'm actually. I want to say this has been a good replacement of Mr. Robot for me since that finished up.
Ah.
So I mean, I don't think it's as good so far as Mr. Robot was, but it's decent. It's for me, it's worth watching. And this was my wife recommended it actually. She was like, "Oh, we should check this out. It looks good." And I was like, "I don't know," but yeah, she was right.
Well, see, the one I was thinking of it's called Mythic Quest.
It's nowhere near devs.
Well, it's about video game developers.
Yeah.
So Ugh. But okay, that sounds interesting. What's it on?
It's on FX and Hulu.
Debs. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I'll send you guys a link later. And then, other than that, I'm catching up on my whatever's left of the seasons of. Like I'm watching Saul every week, the CW stuff, and Picard is done. So
I haven't seen it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to finish it so we can talk about. I actually have waited on this last episode. I'm kind of excited.
You haven't
but
seen
I
it
haven't
either?
heard. No, I haven't heard great excitement out of how it finished. So I'm kind of nervous about watching it.
I'll just
so don't say anything.
No, I'll just say that. Let me give you a brief 30-minute summary. No. I'll just say it was good. It just wasn't
wasn't out of the world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It wasn't groundbreaking
That's all right.
or anything.
That's all right. I'm sure I'll like it anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I enjoyed the finale.
All right, James, what have you been up to besides working?
Besides work and more work, and household family stuff, I did do a rewatch of not that movie. We'll get to that later because that's my first watch. A rewatch of a show that was on the CW. I want to say 2016, about 4 years ago. It aired. It was like a limited series that didn't get picked up for a second season because I think they did it as a limited series with the potential for a full length series in the season 2. Fortunately, it didn't get picked up, but it kind of wrapped up somewhat in a neat fashion. And this show is called Containment. It's available on Netflix, and I was able to rewatch this show with my wife and son who've never seen the original.
That's the reality show where the people bid on the old storage units that have been foreclosed on, right?
No. Stay off the dark web.
What's that one?
This
one.
Oh
wait, sorry, that's Storage Wars. My bad.
Storage Wars. Not Containment.
Hey, I figured since you guys are confusing shows today, I might as well do the same, right?
Containment Storage Wars. No, this unlike Mike's film, it actually is very appropriate for the times. The synopsis really is an epidemic breaks out in hot Atlanta, and the government, CDC, the police department build a containment around the hotspot of the town of Cordone. It's a fictional town within Atlanta, or a county, I should say. And then the reaction is you're following the people who are stuck inside. They're doing the social distance, the mask, it's rewatching it the second time around. I was like, wow, this is a freaking foreshadowing. So what? And then the government, how the government's reacting, what they're putting in plan, how ready they are versus how unready they are. Man, rewatching that show to me was like, man, I wish I'd taken notes in 2016. But again, this was a limited series, so it's about, I want to say 45 minutes each episode, and I believe it's 10 episodes. So it doesn't give you a complete conclusion, but it kind of wraps up some of the major plot points. So I can tell you without spoiling it. So that being said, I highly recommend anyone who is not only shelter in place at home, but are looking to watch something that's in the same vein of like Contagion or Outbreak or any of those films. This one, I think, it's more modern than any of those movies, and it's it's a major, and it's around a single metropolis place in America, and it shows you both sides, what's happening inside, what's happening at the government level, which is very interesting.
If our audience is interested in these pathogen type shows, these infection shows, there's quite a few, right? So Containment, like Jim was saying, there's The Passage that was canceled, that ran for a season. That one was about vampires.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
There was what's the other one I'm thinking about? The Strain is another one.
Yep, FX.
That was on FX. There was another one. I was just thinking about it too. I can't remember the name, but if I remember, I'll.
The Strain was also vampiric.
Oh, there's another one that's also vampiric. It was on Netflix, and it stars the guy from.
There's like 19 vampire shows on Netflix.
Yeah,
so you gotta.
But this one, like they also made it like infection type thing, not like mythical creature type thing. He was on Lost and that the Vampire Diaries. Ian Somerhalder.
He wasn't the main guy, but yeah, he was all I know he was Vampire Diaries. You're right, he was Vampire Diaries. Yes.
Yeah, so this show's called V Wars on Netflix.
Yeah, I see it pop up as soon as I watched Dracula. It popped up.
I think I've seen 2 or 3 episodes of that. And then
what's it called? V Wars.
V Wars. Yeah.
Oh.
So you guys haven't been into Tiger King?
Not yet.
No, it's on my list. Yeah,
my wife and I are waiting for this Friday. Apparently, it's like it's pretty long. It's a series, right? Yeah, you can't just sit there and bang it out one night, from what I heard.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I really don't care too much about crazy ass people in real life.
Yeah, I'm not big on reality TV.
Yeah, I heard Shaq now has to come out and defend the one cameo he had because he had no idea what this guy was doing behind the scenes. So this is huge now. This is big.
Listen, Shaq, don't even worry about it. This, it's beyond your control. There's 7 episodes, Jim, and they're 40 minutes apiece.
Oh,
no, they're banging out this weekend.
The thing is, like, if you're gonna watch reality TV, like for me, reality TV, when I watch reality shows or docs, I prefer competition series like Hell's Kitchen, that style, or it's gotta be so freaking weird, like My Strange Addiction. You know what I mean? Or that type of weird.
I can't even go near those shows.
No, like
I watched. What's the Horde? I watched Hoarders once.
Oh my god, I love Hoarders.
Oh god, no.
Yeah, but this is not.
I'm walking away.
Is it really a reality show or is it like a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary, right? So they broke it up into like a TV show. So I don't know. Yeah,
The way people are describing it, it's like Florida come to life.
Yeah, but this is Oklahoma, so close enough anyway. So
have you guys seen that Netflix Fire Festival, whatever, the documentary that came out?
The one about Ja Rule? I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it yet.
My impression is something like that, but just elongated to 7 parts as opposed to a single hour and a half documentary with real footage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All I know is that the buzz on the internet is that this show is ridiculous, and you must see it to understand just how crazy it is. Like, people don't explain it. Like, I'm sure you've seen the memes, And even
Yeah, I've
like I
seen the
look at the
memes all
memes
over
and
the place.
like it's I have to look up like what they mean, right? Because people are talking
Yeah,
about
it's the
that
same
Carol,
thing. Same thing with the
the
Fire
Carol one.
Festival. I had no clue what
Yeah.
the jokes were. They're all inside jokes until I watched it, and I was like, okay, and that was crazy. This is supposed to be the next level craziness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I'll check
All
it
right.
out. I'll at least give it a couple episodes and see.
Same.
So my watches, besides my regular stuff, is that I'm not into like a cutesy anime at all. But this one popped up called Cells at Work. That's CELLS, Cells at Work, and I watched the first episode. It was kind of funny. It's about the inside of the body is basically represented as a city, and each cell is a person.
Huh.
So the main character is this red blood cell who's on her first day trying to deliver oxygen to the lungs and keeps getting lost and gets attacked by a virus, and the white blood cells, who are these like kung fu, classic anime fighting guy in overalls, but he's completely white, and he comes in and he's got to fight the virus hand to hand combat, and then the virus gets away and he's got to chase the virus around the body, and it was kind of funny. It was cute. It was light hearted, and it actually explained everything. Like, it was almost edutainment in a way.
Mhm.
They were like, red blood cells do this and this and this, and white blood cells, this is their job, and they're going over to this place and it does this. So, if you want your kid kind of likes anime or animation, and you want something that's a little fun and a little educational, try it out. I didn't go past one episode because it's not my deal, but it was good animation and it was kind of fun.
Where's this available?
It was on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a Netflix original.
Nice.
Send me the synopsis if you can. I'll check it out with my son.
Okay, yeah, do that. And then my other watch was Dracula, which is also on Netflix. It's 3 episodes series. And boy, was this a surprise. It was very, like, you watch those short season, almost movie length things on BBC.
That's what this is.
Right. So it's that, and it's high production value, which they always make. Good acting, as you would expect, but boy, was there some surprises. It was a little gross. They kind of honed in on some of the more kind of disgusting, and not even like murder disgusting. More like, hey, here's a real close up of a fly eating, and you're like, ugh. So, but it was all right. There was a weird way to end it, but if there's more episode, like if it becomes another season, maybe there's something I'm missing. But right now, I don't know. Unless you're really into vampires, I don't know if I'd super recommend it, because it just kind of goes nowhere, I guess I would say. James, did you watch this?
I did, and I was disappointed with the midway through this second episode and all the way through the last episode. It just felt like the first episode laid the groundwork of what would have been a great vampiric anthology show, and just pooped the bed. After that, like, my wife and I watched it. After the first episode, we were hooked. We're like, this is some good stuff. And then the second episode, we were like, wait, what? Like, the huge leap fast forward, and then, I'm not spoiling it. And then the third episode, it became like a melodrama that no one asked for. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, and the main actress, let me find her name.
And he became so hammy, the actor.
What I was liking about it, the main character, Dracula, played by Clyce Bang.
That's his porn name.
I guess so, right? At first he was really kind of dark and scary, and then they kind of went in this weird, like, I felt like they were trying to make a Lucifer kind of thing,
but not as good.
By the third one, I was like, oh, so what's he gonna become, a detective by the end of this or something? Yeah, it was kind of a weird I mean, that's not where they went, but it's just kind of a weird tonal as they shifted and moved. And then Dolly Wells, who plays Sister
Oh
Agatha,
yes.
um, is the show. When it opens up and she's interviewing the vampire, she's really interesting, and her interactions with Dracula specifically make the show for me. And I wanted just that to continue. I wanted that back and forth between those
Yes.
two characters to
Yes.
just go
Yes,
on.
sir. Yes.
But they kept going off into these weird tangents, almost like unnecessarily long. I understand why they were going off to these other characters, but I thought it was just unnecessarily long dips into the non-interesting parts of what this could have
Yeah.
been.
Like I get it, they were trying to do a different version of the traditional Bram Stokers by using some of the same characters like Lucy and everyone
Mhm.
else. But like you said, those side stories were just so undeveloped and uninteresting. Meanwhile, you had like the state, you had like the protein right there with Agatha and Dracula from the first episode. Carry that on the second episode, and then finish it with a great finale of a boss fight at the end or something like that. And it was just like no, no, no.
Well, and what they did to Agatha,
Ugh.
I think they kind of just diluted the character by the end, and it was just kind of sad. Oh well, if you really like vampires, if you really like kind of melodrama, go ahead, watch the first episode, see if it drives you. Let us know what you think. But it's one of those that just couldn't carry
Yeah, be
through to the
forewarned. The first episode is not a good indicator how the rest of the series is going to be.
end. Well, and I kind of liked the second one, though it was a bit confusing. That started to get a bit confusing, but I kind of liked where they were going back and forth with it. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna get this kind of a show over and over again, where these two keep interacting in different ways, and it just didn't work out. I don't know. I don't know if what they could have done differently, to be honest. But
It's almost like a trilogy where there's no plan and three different writers and directors came up with this. And the first one, which I kind of like, was good. And then it just went downhill. And the third episode was just like
I bet you it makes $4 billion.
Netflix money.
That's all that
And
matters.
Netflix money, maybe.
That's right. I'm trying to get through Jessica Jones season 3. I feel like I'm slogging through Jessica Jones season 3, and I don't feel like it's bad, but I just feel like it's a drag. Kind of like the way I was feeling for Daredevil season 3 too. It just, with so many poppy superhero shows that can be fun and give you some emotional stakes, I just feel like these super dragged, everybody's feeling horrible about themselves shows just aren't doing it for me now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should have. You know what they should have done was they should have just done 2 seasons of each show and then 2 seasons of Defenders and be done with it.
Well, I don't know. It's definitely better than Jessica Jones season 2. There's a more interesting,
I thought
straight
so.
up villain. There's more interest between Jessica and her sister, where one wants to be a hero, the other doesn't want to be the hero, and you're kind of getting that dichotomy of, what does that actually mean? And so you're getting a little bit back to more interesting topic for her,
Right.
but it's slow. It's like remember when you watched the second half of Luke Cage and you're like, oh, come on, man. Just so.
I mean, that was the entire season of Luke Cage for me, but
you know what? I thought the first half of Luke Cage was like, if you stop now, this is a great show. Like after they killed what's his name?
the snake dude, Diamondback? No. The main guy. What's his name? Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Cottonmouth.
Yeah. Once he died, that show just went downhill, man. And I don't know what it was, but that first half I thought was great. But maybe they're still making like 12 episodes, and I never thought I'd say, hey, these superhero shows are too long.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. If they had cut it down to 8 or 10 even.
Yeah, I'm at 7, and I'm like, really? I gotta go to 12? All right. So let's go to our main topic. You guys feeling it? We are going to.
I don't know, sir.
Of course you don't know. You don't know because only I know.
Don't care how I want it now.
Wait, before we go to our main topic, give me 2 minutes here to give you my opinions on Aladdin, the movie that I watched. My family forced me. We canceled a podcast to watch this freaking travesty. I'm gonna start from the beginning. I give this a solid D. And the only reason why I don't give it
good, huh?
I don't give it an F is because in the final moments, whomever the actress is that's playing Jasmine gave me this one musical rendition. I think it's Speechless. I just text my daughter to confirm Speechless.
Mm-hmm.
That was moving and inspiring. I was like, wow. Now I feel like the Disney magic and the power in a Disney movie, and that saved me from giving an all-out F.
That actress, by the way, is the one that played Pink Ranger in the Power Rangers movie, the new one.
Yeah, it's Naomi Scott.
Yeah, and she was the
the tech girl in Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, I was gonna call her the victim, but
she
wasn't the victim. She was the target.
She was the new recruit.
Right, but she was the target as well, right? Of the bad guy.
Yes, the main.
Yeah.
Oh, what's her nationality or heritage? By the way, I'm curious.
I'd have to look her up.
No, that's racist. I don't care. I don't see color.
Oh my God! Stop it. I mean, the role that she was playing, and he told me her name is Naomi Scott. I was just asking.
No, they were supposed to because her nationality's British, but I'm sure her heritage is different because they were hiring specifically Middle Eastern.
No, I think she's half Indian and
actors.
half white British.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, that song rendition, and I kid you not, I was literally like on the couch watching my family with Glee, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden this number comes up, and my head kind of cocks a little bit. Then I look, and then I can tell my daughter's catching me. Oh, Dad's liking this. Dad's liking. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's still like saving the entire movie, but well done, bravo. That was good. So
see, I'm so surprised that's the song that you pulled out of this.
And I found out there wasn't even an original, which I don't remember the original. Then I found out there were sequels to the original. Oh, I was getting laughed at.
Oh man, you've never seen the animated Aladdin?
No, I haven't. I've seen the animated Aladdin. Yes, I've seen the first one. I've never watched the first one more than maybe once.
The Return of Jafar?
No.
You've never seen direct to VHS?
Yes. I already had this
Return of Jafar.
conversation. I was being laughed at. I will not be laughed at on this pod.
Yeah, you got to see Rise of Aladdin though, because they bring Jafar back and he's a clone, and he's trying to get to his granddaughter.
I'm done of any Rise of any movies. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Skywalkers. I'm done.
Rise of the Machines.
For me, what made the movie was the Prince Ali song.
That was good. I like that one.
That was the whole production value of the song.
Choreography was good. The dancing.
Choreography.
The music was terrible.
Will Smith.
I thought it was funny. I thought it had some funny moments in it. So
dude, the
it
first
was way
minutes,
better than the Lion King movie.
I count like at least 4 musical numbers done in the first 15 minutes. I was sitting there like, you got to be kidding me. Can we get some regular plot acting in here? Like
it's a musical though.
I was in a Disney World, Aladdin, freaking
the ride
theme park. That's what I felt like. Oh, but yeah, I just want to get that out there. I finally put that check on my list of Aladdin. And next stop is Frozen 1 and Frozen 2.
Same here. I've never seen them.
All right.
Let me guess, more singing with animated.
Oh, a lot of singing. The animated's different. I think so far we've been pretty hit or miss with the live action. I have to say, if Will Smith, when he was just being Will Smith and wasn't trying to do the Robin Williams Man of a Thousand Voices, just be Will Smith.
Yeah,
it's good enough.
Yeah, it's still weird, but I don't. That wasn't the main topic. I just want to make sure I got that out the way. I gave my review.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
All right. So yeah, one of these days we'll have to do a Disney.
Hey, we could do a Disney bracket, March Madness Disney bracket. 64.
Oh, Disney bracket.
I know it's been done on other platforms, but we haven't done it.
Yeah, but are we counting Pixar?
No, Pixar's its own thing,
Yeah.
man.
Well, if you want to get
So if we're
64
doing-
teams, you might need to throw in Pixar, dude.
Oh,
We don't have don't do 64. Do 16 or something.
I
Don't.
don't know, because it would be pretty close. Because usually my top Disney is Lion King, and I'm not sure if Pixar can beat it.
Toy Story.
I know, but
The
I still think Lion
Incredibles.
King comes off.
Finding
No,
Nemo.
Yeah, for me.
not incredible.
Nemo. Yeah.
You got some contenders, man. Some underdogs.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay, it might be.
Well,
We're getting
versus
off.
All right,
I think let's go back to Bloodshot.
Mike wants his mini robots.
Nanites.
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 They
All right.
are your blood.
So we are talking about Bloodshot. Came out this year, 2020.
It came out a
it
couple weeks
is-
ago.
A
Made
couple of weeks ago, yeah.
made $40 at the box office, and they decided to bring it home.
That's right. So this is based on a comic book of the same name. It's a screenplay by Jeff Walt. Nobody cares about that.
As long as
Starring
it's
Vin
not
Diesel.
our guy from
Dir-
Chris.
All right, directed by.
Chris Terrio.
Well, let's see there. I'm gonna look at all the credits now that you say that.
Oh God.
Kevin Van Hook, Bob Layton, and Don Perlman were all comic book story. Yeah, definitely not in there. So directed by Dave Wilson. Bloodshot it's a pretty simple.
So right away,
this
movie does not get an F.
That's right. Ray Garrison, a slain soldier, is reanimated with superpowers. That's the entire synopsis. Which I don't know if that really fully does it
You know what's
justice.
funny? I don't know if you've
But-
seen the latest trailers that came out, I think yesterday, because they're obviously advertising it's available on streaming platforms. It was like, this time his superhero gets an upgrade. And I was like, wait, what? That's not what I was. That's not my
No,
selling card for this.
no. This is starring Vin Diesel, as you know, as Ray Garrison, Bloodshot. Isa Gonzalez as Katie or KT. Sam Hugan is Jimmy Dalton. And the only important person other than that is Guy Pearce as Dr. Emil Harding, our bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but don't forget, give a shout out to sorry, I can't remember his name. The guy who played, the guy who fixed Bloodshot at the end there. He's a
I'm
great
sorry.
comic actor.
Oh, the black guy.
Sorry,
I
he
got
used to be in that show on
Yeah.
Fox.
He was a New Girl. Yeah,
New Girl, yeah.
he was hilarious on New Girl, and I thought he was great in this movie. His name is Lamorne Morris.
As Wilfred Wiggins.
Right,
Yes,
Wiggins.
Yeah, he was funny.
you are right.
Yeah, he was funny.
He came up in the third act and really punched some life
Yeah,
into
he was
things.
he was a nice buffer to everything else that was Vin Diesel in this movie.
Exactly. It's something to take away from the Brood.
Right. Everything Vin Diesel does is either he's the only one who can do it, or it's all about found family. And this isn't a movie about he's the only one who can do it because they killed his found family. So basically, he's a soldier who gets killed, and then his blood gets replaced with nanite bots that can repair him as he gets injured. You really don't need to know much more about the movie. I think the way I want to talk about this movie, instead of going scene by scene, which we've tried before, I want to do it in 3 parts. We're gonna start by doing it in our story sections. So, sorry, I lost the word, guys. What are the 3 sections of a movie called?
The 3 acts.
3 acts.
3
yeah.
acts. There you go. That's what
It's been
I
a
was
tough
looking for.
week, I know.
Yay for
Tough week.
editing. Thank you very much. So we're going to talk about this movie by its 3 acts, because I think there's very big switches in this movie in the 3 different acts, and that make it almost 3 different. I gave it almost 3 different grades as the movie went along. So let's start with the first act of this movie, which is his memory of the past all the way up till about where he wakes up for the first time as Bloodshot. So it's a pretty standard, almost like 90s soldier superhero movie at that point.
You give it too
right?
much credit. To me, it felt more like a video game. That opening sequence. Like, you ever seen Act of Valor?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like every Call of Duty movie.
That
too.
was
Yeah.
probably a little more realistic feeling because obviously you had real Navy SEALs do that one. This one was like Doom, like the Call of Duty video game. It just felt too stylized for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was very much like a D level movie for me for a grade because he was just generic military guy, not listening to orders. Yeah, saving the hostage. Goes home, has the standard like candlelit vigil with his wife.
Vigil.
Get it on vigil.
I'm pretty sure he was
Why-
wearing the same white tank top from Fast and Furious and that scene with
Right.
his wife.
Right? I mean, it was just like, okay, this is boring. I was actually pretty bored with it. I mean, was there anything that stuck out during this section to you guys, or were you with me? Were you just
Yeah, it
basically
seemed
like,
like
oh,
so in this part I would have liked more of him, like his backstory, not backstory per se, but personality. Like we got maybe 2 minutes of his personality as a leader, as a husband, as a what kind of guy he is. A little, a few more minutes maybe would have been good. Just to give you more of a connection with the character and like what he's going through.
yeah, I think they were relying on stereotypes
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, I think so.
So I
That's a
almost
good
want to
point.
skip this
That's
whole
a good
set.
point because I didn't see they didn't establish any connection with any of the other military personnel that he was with. The only person
Right.
you might say would have been his wife, but even that felt kind of empty. Um, Worse even is his own character. Like, what
Yeah.
do we get out of his character other than him just being a military special forces guy that did a mission, lost someone, now is back.
Yeah, it was
And
so generic.
the thing is, I understand because we're gonna spoil all this in a few minutes. Like, I understand why it was kind of done this way when you realize what's actually happening to him, right? But
Mhm,
they could have
mhm.
stretched. I think they could have stretched it out a few more minutes. That little story they built, right?
Yeah, because in the payback in the third act will be
Mhm.
much more satisfying. I mean, how long was this movie? This was like only an hour
Would
and
this
50
movie
minutes.
have?
Okay, yeah.
Do you think this movie would have had been more interesting if they went with a weird timeline switching on you?
Oh,
Sometimes you see some of the first act, some of the second act, or hinted at something. Like the only hint I sort of got where I actually I almost laughed when I first saw it is so when he gets captured by the bad quote unquote bad guy and his uh the bad guy ties him up in a freezer and then turns on music and like dances and I'm like, did they really just do the whole
For Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dog scene?
Yeah.
What
Oh.
is this that bad? And it comes around later and it makes sense,
Right.
but it's like you're kind of forced to sit through like a worst first episode of a show and you're like, I guess it's one thing because it's a movie and you're kind of like, I'm already here, I'm going to finish this. If this was a TV show, I don't think I would have watched the second episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be honest. The writing in this movie isn't what drew anyone to come go watch it. It's Vin Diesel,
No.
his name, his credibility.
Special effects.
Well, okay, so let's skip that. So he's a generic guy with a generic wife, and he gets killed, and his wife gets killed. So that's your first act. It almost could have started with him in the freezer, right? You almost don't even need the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Agreed.
They could have done a quick flashback of him saving the hostage, but or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but that would have
So
been.
anyway-
No, I think that would have been worse because that goes against what I was saying to expand on his personality. Like, why should I care about this guy, right?
Yeah,
No,
I guess.
but I think
it's just-
what Chris is saying, and I think it might work, is if you sprinkle his backstory throughout the first act, all the way up to the big
Mhm.
reveal in the middle of the second act, so that you're along for the ride, and then you get hit with like as you start seeing all this stuff, you get more and more intrigue, and then boom, the truth comes out, and you're like, oh, so now you're getting this present, and you're like, yeah, there's something in there really for me. The present is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You finally unwrap it, you open it, like, oh, this is cool. Like,
right. Were they afraid to give you Easter eggs about what was going on, or were they so subtle that you just didn't see them?
yeah, like you don't have to connect with them like immediately the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,